We're back with another episode of 5 of the... Wait, no. This video is going to be a little bit different. There's so many cool new releases over the past week for Fallout 4 modding that instead of showing you 5 of them, I'm showing you 10 of them. Very exciting, I know. Honestly, that's kind of the gist of it. If you guys want to check out any of the stuff I do show you, I'll have links to everything down below. But with that, we'll just jump into the first mod that I thought was a pretty cool download. And that's going to be Ghouls Revamped. So, as you could probably guess by the title, what this one's going to be all about is overhauling the look and feel of ghouls in Fallout 4. So in particular, we're talking about the typical ghouls, not those feral ghouls that run at you trying to rip your heads off, but the ghouls that you interact with, trade with, and actually talk to. This mod is going to be a total visual change to those ghouls. If you use Hancock as a companion like I do, you're really getting the most out of this mod. And I gotta say, this thing does something magical. It doesn't just make the ghouls look better, but also kind of more realistic. I feel like when I'm interacting with ghouls in Fallout 4 now, they're more believable as to what a ghoul would actually look like if this was possible. Maybe we're looking way too deep into a fictional post-apocalyptic game, but either way, I think this mod makes some pretty nice changes, especially if you spend a lot of time around Good Neighbor, and for that reason is definitely worth a download. So number 2, we actually have the first port report of the week. I'm giving you 2 because we're doing 10 mods this time, double the fun. And this is going to be some of those W replacers I've been showing you in a few of my recent videos. More or less, what this is going to do is take some basic piece of equipment in Fallout 4, like some of the shotguns, ARs, and actually switch it with something that was from a mod. There's a ton of different options with this, some of them actually doing kind of standalone pieces, so it's just going to be one item in Fallout and replace it with one mod out there, such as all of the lasers being replaced with the Watts, or even all the ARs being replaced with the Service R Redux that has been out for quite a while now. Or alternatively, there's more of the all-in-one packs that will actually replace a bunch of different things from Fallout 4. The effect of this though, actually making it feel like the game is quite distinctively different because you're not seeing any of those vanilla options at all. And this port report in particular is going to be sponsored by my merch store. I have quite a few cool designs on there. I'm actually adding quite a few new things in the coming weeks, but if you use the code ENERGY, you will be able to get 10% off any of your orders for the next 24 hours. Do you have that one thing in Fallout 4 that really just irks you and you wish was different? Well, the mod Game Configuration menu is going to allow you to do just that. No longer will you have to actually go through any of the different INI files. Now, while in-game, you're going to have a new menu, and from that menu, you're going to be able to tweak almost everything, whether it be VATS, combat, health, fast travel, time. All kinds of different settings are going to be at your fingertips. If there's one particular thing you just like changing about your game, like I personally like modifying how much damage is dealt and received, you can do that with this mod. It makes changing some of these settings way more accessible. A lot of times this is possible through Fallout 4's .ini files, but they're very confusing, complex, not easy to kind of just read through. With this mod, you can change things on the fly in game, and it honestly is a pretty big improvement on the game for those of you who have those very niche playstyles. Or alternatively, if you just have something that was annoying you and you want resolved now. So this is a mod that actually got like a ton of coverage in the popular press, and it's an amazing one. The General Todd Howard statue is going to do pretty much what you think. Add in a statue to the general that saved us all and gave me a job, Todd Howard. If you guys somehow don't know, Todd Howard's actually the director of Bethesda Game Studios, the developer behind Fallout and the Elder Scrolls. This mod was initially meant as a joke, but honestly, when you think about it, who would be better fit to get a statue in game than Todd Howard himself? Something I would love to see actually added on to this mod, or even as a separate and standalone mod, is a Pete Hines statue. But outside of that, you do have this beautiful Todd Howard statue that will be placed in your world, and also you can place it in settlement mode, but it goes even a bit further. This also has a glow-in-the-dark version that's going to illuminate Todd Howard's eyes and make the plaque so much more digestible at nighttime. This truly is a sight to be seen, and if you haven't downloaded this mod yet, you should, because it is absolutely beautiful. Then we do have the Brotherhood of Steel Medic Battlesuit. This is one that I've been showing you a lot of in upcoming mods for the past few months, and in game it's fairly simple and straightforward. It's going to be a female only armor that does add in a medic battlesuit, whatever that means. In reality, I think it's kind of a tactical outfit. Looks like something that someone in the military or in a spec ops position would actually wear, as well as I really love the mask that goes along with this one. I feel like the suit as a whole fits very well into Fallout 4, based on the actions your character carries out, and on how many enemies you take down, I could see them wearing something like this. It does feature a few different camo types, but otherwise fairly basic customizability, and it's going to be pretty subjective. If you like what you're seeing on screen right now, download this. Use it on yourself, on a companion. It's not integrated into the level list, so you have to just craft it as you do want to use it. But for those of you who do like it or any of the individual pieces, because it is modular, you can use it, and I think it is definitely going to be a good download. This is a fairly basic mod, but it actually is really cool, and I could see myself using this in the future. The Perk Grid background replacer is going to replace the background of your Perk Grid, if you didn't get that. If I told you what this was verbally, oh yeah, it's just going to make the background behind the perks black and change some of the titles, you'd probably be like, alright, whatever, I'll pass on that one. But seeing it, and when I saw the pictures of this and actually using it in game, I was like, this looks really cool. I'm not entirely sure why I like this so much. It could be my inner demons trying to manifest themselves in Fallout 4, but I do really like it, and even though it's simple, I want to share it with all of you. This is a mod I actually really like. It's called Survivalist Armor. I also showed you guys this in upcoming mods, but it only just came out. And more or less, it's going to be one set of armor with 3 different tiers, and in essence, creating 3 different sets of armor. You can see the most basic version that looks fairly simple, not going to provide you too much protection. The medium version that has some steel plates built in, and it looks definitely a lot cooler. I actually say that one's my favorite. And the third version that has a full set of Kevlar and a bunch of other Molly attachments onto that, and you look pretty tactical. The reason I like this mod is these are all the different ranks. When you upgrade the armor, you're going to get more protection visually, and it actually kind of follows. I really love the aesthetic and visuals of this one. I feel like it goes really well with a bunch of different mask mods or helmets, and a lot of the modern military equipment you see through different equipment mods already. The mod author is planning a bunch of different updates, such as a female version and a lore-friendly way to get it. I would actually also like to see maybe some levelless integration. I think it would fit pretty well in a lot of different characters that already exist in Fallout 4. And speaking of masks that would go well with the Survivalist armor, we also do have the Soviets mask, otherwise known as the GP5 gas mask. I also showed you guys this mod a few times in upcoming mods, and in reality it is really freaking cool. So as you can see, it's going to add in a gas mask, but it's also going to have a ton of customization options. And I feel like this is where this kind of stands out from a lot of the other gas mask mods out there right now. I think the gas mask itself looks cool, but with some of these different paint jobs you can add onto it, and I'm only showing you a handful of them. There's many more available with the full mod. You can get a number of really cool aesthetics, and they're things I personally really like. Again, I could totally see myself using the combo of the Soviet mask and the Survivalist armor. I think with some of the paint jobs, they go really well together and make your character just look pretty cool, but also fit well into Fallout 4's world and the theme that the setting does bring. Then we do have Cross 2077, yet another armor mod for me to share with all of you. Cyberpunk 2077 is the next game coming from CD Projekt Red. I actually saw the kind of press copy behind closed doors at E3 if you want to check out my video on that. But either way, this mod's going to add in one of the major armors you do see in the trailer and in some of the concept art and regular art that has been shown for the game thus far. It has an extremely distinctive look that I think is going to be very polarizing for a lot of people. It looks very abstract and different. But one of the really cool parts about this mod is the back. The massive logos being shown on the back of the jacket or suit, whatever you want to call it, does look really cool. And just the illumination on the suit in general when it's kind of low light. I really love when mods do that, and I feel like it makes them look particularly cool. But alternatively, there are variants of this where you could have pretty much no logos and just kind of use it as a black suit if you wanted to. But I'd say some of the decals and color customization options are where this mod really shines. There's actually a whole bunch of other ones you could download if you download the skin pack that this mod author does have, and it's a really cool mod. One of the weird things though that you may miss, because I actually kind of missed it, the suit actually implements these little masks on your character if you do have it enabled, but one of them is super difficult to see. It was technically on throughout the video, but you may have missed it. I could really only tell it was there in low light, and I just wish that would be brightened up a little bit so you could actually see it all the time, because it looks awesome and I feel like it really gives this suit a lot more flavor. And last but not least, we do have the second port report of this week, and that's going to be the Settlement Tidybot. This mod does pretty much what the title suggests. It's going to be a little robot that you can place down in your settlements, and it's going to clean up various corpses that would otherwise not despawn. Like you have a few ghouls run across your settlement, your settlers or turrets take them down, then you have ghoul bodies. Who wants to deal with that? Well, the Settlement Tidybot's going to take care of all of that and place whatever it finds on those various corpses into a little box so you don't miss out on any valuable loot. And that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. If you guys enjoyed, you can like or subscribe for more content like this in the future. Mods Weekly is coming back. I have some exciting plans for what's going on with that. But rather than the traditional Psych Fun Fact, I want to do something a little bit different. Yesterday, I actually pre-recorded my upcoming mods video because I had to move from one apartment to the other. I haven't actually been living in that apartment for a few months because I'm home from school and living at home, but it was a year lease and school ended in May, whatever. Something very unfortunate, my 2 apartments and most apartments available around my school didn't overlap. So the way this works is, even though it is an apartment, it's like a student apartment, 95% of the people living in these apartments are students. So a lot of times the lease ends on July 31st, but the new lease doesn't start till around when school starts, at August 18th, 19th. So I had this 2.5 week window where I had all this stuff that had to go from one place to the other, and you know, that's obviously potentially annoying if you have to put it in a storage unit like I have in years past. Well, fortunately, my new apartment allowed me to move in early, so I went up yesterday, took all my stuff from one apartment and put it in a new apartment. So I got a 1-bedroom apartment, and when I originally toured the place, they said, yeah, we'll give you this one on the 3rd floor because that's what we have available right now. Then actually calling them yesterday, they said, oh, I'm getting one on the 1st floor. And at first I didn't think much of it, but then I was like, who wants to live on the 1st floor in a downtown area? You're going to have a lot of foot traffic, and that's just not what I wanted. So I wanted to hopefully get something on the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th floor. So a little bit stressed going into this. Either way, we show up, they say, oh, we actually are giving you a model unit, and it's going to be a 2-bedroom and much larger than the traditional 1-bedroom apartments, but they still wanted to honor my lease as I did sign it a while ago, even though they ran out of 1-bedrooms. So most of my stress is alleviated at this point. I go and see the new apartment. It's in the basement and it doesn't have any windows. So I'm not sure if you could really picture this because I didn't take any pictures, but imagine walking into a living room and it have just a wall and it's no windows, dim lighting. It was very depressing. Either way, after much discussion, I eventually got a different apartment on the 4th floor and it's nice and happy. Actually, it looks like it's going to be a pretty cool place, but I don't know. I just want to share this story because if any of you live in some place with little to no windows, I now understand how horrible that can be. Either way, thank you all again for watching. I hope you enjoyed and I hope to see you all next time. Later.